Hey everybody, it's Mintu from Higher Alignment Consulting, and today I want to talk to you about 3 ways your nervous system is actually losing you business. Now, in my line of work, I am constantly having meetings with business owners, leaders, management, salespeople, and while these meetings are typically about how I can support them, I'm also getting a glimpse into what the experience is like for their teams and their clients. Now, in these interactions, I have actually identified 3 areas that predominantly lead to losing engagement. And when I tell you these 3 things, you're probably going to say, duh, Mintu, like I already know that. The interesting thing, however, is though, consciously you may be aware of how these things will affect your business, but within your physiology and your nervous system, your body's actually still giving out these cues, and that is what the client or your team is picking up on, and that is what's leading to the lack of engagement. So let's go through these now, and I can tell you about how it's actually affecting you. Number 1 is a rush presence. You have a hard time just standing in one spot having a conversation with someone. You aren't breathing with a regulated rhythmic pattern. You have a hard time demonstrating that you're actually focused and dialed in on the conversation at hand. Lots of distractions happening. I went to a meeting a few weeks ago where I knew a client was going to be tight on time. And when he got there, he actually said, "Oh, let's just get in line and we'll start the meeting that way." Well, while I was able to adapt, I knew from the jump that this was going to be a disengaged conversation because he was not focused, and now I was attuning to his energy as well. Number 2 is a lack of being able to connect in conversation. You have a hard time having conscious eye connection. You are constantly fidgeting, moving around, bouncing your leg. You have a difficult time picking up on cues from other people, whether that be vocally or physically. Your social engagement isn't registering what they're trying to portray. And you often have a hard time remembering what the other person told you. You often have to ask people to repeat back multiple times what they just said. And number 3 is speaking from a hyperactive state. This looks like or sounds like our voice pitching up because we are carrying a little bit of anxiety in our chest. It is us speaking very, very quickly. It is us speaking in a very scattered tone. All these 3 things activate a lack of feeling safe within your team member and your client. And even if they are transaction ready or they know what they need to get done in their role, you are going to lose them and you're going to lose their engagement because of the subliminal messaging that your body is giving off. And again, as I said, you're probably like, Mintu, these aren't things that I haven't heard before. I obviously am aware on how these are going to affect my interactions. But if you're aware, how come it keeps happening? This is what we need to get into. Now, first off, I want to say we are human, so we're never going to get it right 100% of the time, okay? And that's not the goal here either. We learn from our challenges, we learn from obstacles, we learn how we can get better. However, we also have the responsibility to ourselves to do the best we can with what God has given us. Now, here's the thing about all of this. Of course, you're like, Mintu, I want to keep my clients and team engaged. I want to make them feel seen, heard, and validated. Of course, I know these things. But the crazy thing is, the nervous system doesn't know these things, okay? The nervous system's job or priority isn't to accomplish the task of the moment of the social situation. The nervous system's job is to keep you safe. Okay? And the way it keeps us safe is based on whatever we saw growing up as kids, whatever we experienced for our traumas. Okay? That's what it uses as cues to keep us either in a dysregulated state or a regulated state. So sometimes, the nervous system actually isn't supportive to your tasks at all, and it will continue to work against us until we get it into a regulated state. When we can get the nervous system regulated, it becomes our biggest asset, our biggest tool, and the most important system you could not only have in your business, but in your life. So, how do we do our best to not let these basic subliminals affect our ability to engage the other party in whatever we're trying to accomplish? Well, that is by bringing your nervous system into a state of regulation. Okay. There's something called attunement that all of us humans go through. And what that means essentially is when you meet another person, your nervous system naturally wants to attune to their state. Okay. So when we're in positions of influence, again, whether that's the leader of a team or a business owner, or you're trying to do business with someone, the best chance you have at getting engagement and again, accomplishing the task is supporting the other party to attune to your nervous system. But if you are in a dysregulated state, you are going to attune them the wrong way. Okay. So how do we get people to attune to a state that supports our objective? That's by learning how to bring ourselves into a place of regulation with our nervous system, okay? That means really getting to the depths of understanding how stress responds in our body and also understanding the state from which we typically operate. Are we operating from a place of being overstimulated and hyperactive? Or are we operating from a place of feeling balanced and supporting other people to feel balanced in the same way? Now, when we are in a dysregulated state, the parts of our brain that are necessary for creative thinking, for problem solving, for active, healthy social engagement go offline. And so while we might be still getting some results in some areas, we are actually operating at a disadvantage. So what is the best way to get you into a regulated state? First of all, it's by getting you to a place where you really understand what dysregulation feels like in your body. For some, that might feel like a tight chest. For others, that might be a pit in their stomach. For some people, that might actually be just not being able to hear or think properly. It could be brain fog. The first thing is identifying that that is not normal. That is just how your body has responded to stress for many, many years. And it unfortunately has become very familiar to you. Okay. The second thing we have to do from there is understand what your stress response is dominantly. Are you a fight or flighter? Are you a freezer? And then once we understand that, there are specific tools that you can put in place to get you out of those states and back into a place of regulation. Okay. And number 3 is understanding that while you might have moments of stress and getting out of regulation, it is very easy to implement these tools to bring you back to a state where it disrupts your day very minimally and you're able to get re-engaged and reactivated in whatever you're trying to accomplish. Now, again, while you might know, of course, it's important to be in a balanced state just for not only for business, but for life overall, you also need to understand that working with the nervous system is one of the most important systems you will ever integrate, not only into your business, but also to your life. The nervous system is a tool that we've all been blessed with that can really support us and get us into a flow state where things don't have to feel so difficult. We don't have to wonder why we weren't able to close that deal or why our team won't engage with our objectives and our vision. Using our nervous system as a tool to activate these things is scientifically proven. And if you want to learn more about how we can support you or your team in doing that, just give us a click on the link below, book a consult with us, and we're happy to help.